All right, hey guys, welcome back to another video. So this is going to be a continuation for the particular series that I've been working on called Mass, Matter, Function, Interaction of Momentum. This is part 2, and I wrote this on September 13th, 2015. So let me go ahead and just start right away with part 2. Just before I start, though, let me just reiterate that this was written in 2015. We're now in 2021. I've come to grasps and I have learned and I understand a lot more about the way the universe works. So the way I've worded this, even though it isn't, I still believe what I wrote in this, but I would reword it a little bit differently. Although that being said, the information contained within these posts are very, very pivotal and seminal to my formulations that I was going through at the time and the new revelations that I've come to realize now. This was very foundational work that I was putting together, and because of this, I really am very excited to be putting these 4 parts plus the several extra videos that I will be turning into video articles into this series. And so that being said, without further ado, let me go ahead and start with the second part. So United States, September 13th, 2015, part 2. Before watching this, definitely make sure you watched part 1 because that will explain where we're coming from. This is directly following part 1. We're starting with part 2. I should note here that the universe is a binary system. Energy, in parentheses matter, so matter and energy are the same thing, and dark energy and space are the same thing. So as the mass of the supermassive black hole crashed through the quote-unquote level plane, not only did the mass come through, but it pulled with it some dark energy as well. Also of note, all mass is a combination of energy and dark energy, referred to herein as local entanglement. We'll elaborate on this further, but just note that all mass is slowly decompressing or decaying into more dark energy or space. Space and dark energy are the same thing, but the word quote-unquote space does not fully encompass a visual representation of what it really is, hence the dark energy vocabular. As the expansion of the mass reaches its limits and has stretched and started to cool, some of the most stretched, coolest mass starts to decay into dark energy and starts to create a new field, a new dark energy field or space, where space, time, and gravity all form up into a new space-time continuum. And the field starts to permeate around all mass, slowly giving rise to gravity. And as the field strengthens through the decay of matter, and possibly from an influx of dark energy from the original wormhole connecting the new universe to its host universe, gravity starts to take hold and mass starts to collapse in on itself. Remember, at this point, the mass is a giant ball of quote-unquote hydrogen. As the iron core crashed down from above into the new dimension with nothing holding it back, the iron core expanded. But because there is no interaction with anything, no dark energy, the hydrogen was not actually hydrogen. More, it was just proton. Or more, it was just quark or local entanglement. I'll explain. But needless to say, electrons and wave particles or massless particles do not exist without dark energy. They are the result of the sparks, if you will, of energy, which is matter, and dark energy interacting. I call these particles simple entanglement. And I'll just note right now, science, modern science has very specific names for these. I'll try to find the exact names and correlations, but this is definitely all within the standard model. Gravity can be defined as mass's electromagnetic energy that pushes on the dark energy field. So as the dark energy field started to come into being and strengthen, it started to move mass. As mass starts to move, it starts to generate electromagnetic energy, and at the same time starts to push on the dark energy field, while the dark energy field equally starts to push back. As the field grows, the cycle falls into a force feedback loop, if you will. More dark energy, more gravity, more movement of matter, more electromagnetic energy, repeat, etc., etc., etc. As gravity takes hold and all the stretched mass starts to fall in on itself, and as its energy level starts to rise, the rate of the mass's decay also increases, and so there is a rapid period of turmoil and energy, creation of new structures that rapidly blow themselves apart and recombine, black holes that form and feed so fast that they actually explode and reform over and over again, all while decaying into more space or dark energy. all giving rise to the dark energy field, as all matter decays and converts into more space, or dark energy, and all the while kicking the whole ball of wax into a frenetic frenzy of motion, and solidification occurs. At this point, the universe has evolved, decayed, and expanded to what we see today, and all matter is slowly converting or decaying into more space, or dark energy. Space and dark energy are the same thing. Space is the entangled information of all matter. As matter converts and converges, its energy and quote-unquote information decays into more space, or dark energy. Dark energy is the keeper of time and change, and all space/dark energy is a record of the convergence and evolution of all matter. Where there is no dark energy, there is no time. You could say the universe as we know it is in a slow spiral implosion from its original state, but because all mass is decaying into more space, or dark energy, it would appear that the universe is stretching and expanding. This is true and an optical illusion at the same time. The space is expanding while the mass is shrinking. This is why we see the universe starting to stretch itself into strands or filaments. The quote-unquote web of the cosmos is a twofold phenomena of this occurrence, and ultimately, the most stretched outer wisps of the quote-unquote giant ball of energy will be pulled on, pulled in, and at the same time, the gaps or voids, the quote-unquote voids, between the filaments will continue to enlarge. All mass eventually on a rail of motion rotating around the center of the universe, where the wormhole between universe exists, all circling the drain for an eventual return to the original universe from which it originated. Supermassive black hole supernova. Say that 3 times fast. Supermassive black hole supernova. Supermassive black hole supernova. Supermassive black hole supernova. It's not that hard. LOL. This could also be referred to as the quote-unquote firmament. If biblical text is accurate, one could assume we are 3 levels down in this quote-unquote cascade of matter, also quote-unquote divided the waters from the waters. This is referring to the dark energy field, as the dark energy field has a liquid quality to itself, yet does not interact with itself, or more precisely, does not strongly interact with itself. There are so many words in the English language that have accurate scientific meanings, one could only conclude that the original biblical doctrine was a scientific metaphor before the concepts of science even existed. Take the words light, or magnify, or environment with I-R-O-N in the middle of environment being capitalized. Take the concept that the universe gave birth to itself, had no father, or so many other commonalities. Factor in that over 150 of the Dead Sea Scrolls that predate the Bible itself but are known to be manuscripts of biblical text are quote-unquote classified. Explanation point, ? Why would an ancient text about religious doctrine be classified and kept secret? I'm just saying, Ark of the Covenant, anyone? Black hole in a box? Radioactive for sure. I digress. Continued, Orion Michael Guy. Okay, so that read-through was very, very interesting, and I actually haven't reread that thoroughly for several years. And so rereading that is kind of illuminating to me, and I hope it's illuminating to you. There are a couple of things that I have changed, and I did say in part 1 that I was going to be writing part 4a, which basically says that while the universe is decaying, it's also expanding. So there is the part about the universe slowly basically going down the drain, the center of the universe connecting to the universe above us, and everything's going to decay and go back into the universe from which we came. That is, I've revised that. So basically, we do have the cascading universe, and if there's enough mass in this universe creating an excess of mass and energy, and matter, stars, particularly the cores of the cosmos, can create an excess of energy by literally rotating around themselves, and that's why we see most structures in the universe are spiral galaxies. As the stars rotate around themselves, they're able to produce an excess of energy and therefore matter. So it's very highly unlikely that the universe, any universe that has any common sense whatsoever, would shrivel and shrink to the point where it got so light that it would actually pop back up into the universe from which it originated, or the universe above us, if you will, into a supermassive black hole supernova. I hope I'm making this clear, and I can tell you right now that this is a very high possibility that some galaxies, or I should say some black holes or supermassive black holes, do experience this phenomena where the universe that is inside the black hole does not form up into a well-organized celestial system, and the stars don't start spinning around themselves properly, and the physics within the universe itself do not work properly, and so it slowly starts to break down. And within that black hole, if the matter at its core starts to break down and become quote-unquote lighter and lighter and doesn't sustain a infinite expansion into more and more massive and dense states, then that black hole has the potential of getting light enough that the universe that is containing it will not be able to hold it together, and it will explode. And then there's the possibility that that explosion then is the original core of that black hole will then go from being a black hole or a supermassive black hole, and it'll convert into a neutron star or some other very exotic star, or even it'll reform into a smaller black hole. Of course, this whole celestial mechanics, each case can be different, and I'm getting a little bit off message here, and I don't want to stretch this out too much, but I just wanted to give you the information. And a lot of this is abstract, so just take it for what it is. And that's part 2. I'm going to read part 3, and we're going to put together part 3, part 4, and those additional video articles that came before. And we're going to round out this series, and I'm going to give you as much filler information as I can. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned. I will have more for you shortly. Thanks for watching.